Hello children, let me welcome you to the virtual training center of the Brihan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika. My name is Shraddha Teacher. Children, we are in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, isn't it? Because of that, we are not able to go to school, but that doesn't mean that we are going to stop learning. We are going to meet here regularly through the virtual training center to learn many lessons in EVS. So come on, let's go to a lesson in EVS. So come on children, let us start with a new lesson in standard 4th. Subject will be EVS 2. Now as we all know, in the EVS 2 textbook for this year, we are talking about and learning about the great Maratha king Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, and the name of our book is also Shiva Chhatrapati, isn't it? We have already done 5 lessons based on this book where we learned about some aspects of Shivaji's life. We talked about how Maharashtra before Shivaji was. We talked about the work of the saints, and in another lesson we talked about the various Maratha Sardars, that is the house of the Bhosles, the house of the Jadhavs, Nimbalkars, etc. Then we talked about Shivaji's childhood, how he was born and how he spent the early years of his life. Then in the previous lesson that we saw, that is lesson number 5, we talked about Shivaji's education. Now children, in today's lesson, that is lesson number 6, we are going to talk about the oath of Swaraj. The oath means the promise, or you can say the kind of shapath that Shivaji Maharaj took in order to establish Swaraj. So it began from here. The entire process of establishment of Swaraj and the fight for Swaraj and everything began with this particular incident, that is the oath that Shivaji Maharaj took for the establishment of Swaraj. So let us today learn about how this happened and how did it progress. Okay, so first let us look at this picture. So now this is a picture which is available. Many a times you will see it in the textbooks, on the internet, etc., where we see a very young Shivaji Maharaj. Okay, and you will see that he is worshipping the idol of Lord Shiva, and he is taking an oath that he will bring Swaraj or give freedom to the people of his land. And along with him you can see many of his friends, some of them old and some of them young, and the young people were all the Mavlas. We discussed about them last time, isn't it? The Mavlas were the friends of Shivaji Maharaj, and they were extremely, you can say, smart and quick-footed people. And these were the people who helped Shivaji Maharaj actually in the process of establishment of Swaraj. So come on children, let us see this particular story about the oath that Shivaji Maharaj took in order to attain Swaraj. So let us start by looking at the very important landmark in the journey of establishment of Swaraj, that is a temple at Raireshwar. Now there is a particular place in the southwest of Pune, and it is amidst the natural surroundings. You will see that there is a fort also by the name of Raireshwar, and then there is a temple called as the Raireshwar temple. Now the Raireshwar temple is very famous for its historical importance. Now what is the historical importance? The historical importance is that Shivaji Maharaj took the oath of Swaraj in the year 1645 at this particular place. Now the temple is very, very old and it is a stone structure. But today if you look at the temple, you will see a particularly different structure, totally different structure. Why? Because it was reconstructed again in the 18th century. So see, this is how the place looks today, the temple of Raireshwar. And in the year 1645, an extraordinary event took place here. And what was that event which took place here in this particular temple? That we will talk about now. So this is the place where Shivaji Maharaj sat down and he took the oath of the Swaraj. Can you see a picture right behind the idol, or right behind the place of worship? There you will see the picture of Shivaji Maharaj taking the oath of Swaraj. This is a picture which is present there in the temple, which has been renovated. Okay, and this temple, you will see that it is in this form today. They have renovated it and they consider it as a national heritage structure. Okay,
So this is the important or the extraordinary event that took place here in the temple. What is the event called? It is called as the Oath of Swaraj. So now let us see what Shivaji and the few Mavlas did. They gathered here from the neighboring valleys. Now remember, this place was in the middle of a deep forest, and Shivaji and his few Mavla friends from the neighboring valleys, they gathered here. So what did they want to discuss? And what favor did they ask of Lord Shiva? So that you can see the Shivalinga here. So Shivaji Maharaj worshipped this particular Shivalinga, that is, he worshipped Lord Shiva, and he sought some kind of blessings from Lord Shiva. So now what was this blessing about, and what did Shivaji Maharaj want to do? That we will see in the lesson today. Okay, so let us talk about the fiery eloquence of young Shivaji. Fiery means fierce, very strong, and eloquence means what? A kind of a aura that he had, the personality that he had of young Shivaji. Now Shivaji Maharaj, right from the time when he was very young, he had grown under the shadows of very, very famous and brave people like his father, and also he had listened to stories of many brave men like Krishna, like Lord Ram, like Bhima, Arjuna, etc. So because of all this, Shivaji Maharaj had a very, very strong and very, very brave kind of a personality. So let us talk about how Shivaji Maharaj developed this particular interest or this particular passion for attainment of Swaraj. So Shivaji was very young. He was still very young, but his mind, he had already planned big things. Okay, and we know that his father, he had sent Jijabai and Shivaji back to Pune from Karnataka, and he had given the Jagir of Pune to these people to take care of. So in a way, Jijabai and Shivaji were taking care of the Jagir of Pune. So he had the Jagir of Pune with him. He was in charge of the Jagir of Pune. But was he, you can say, peaceful? No, he was not. So one day what did he do? He called his friends and he talked to them. He opened his mind to his playmates and said, "My dear friends, today I'm going to talk to you about something which is in my mind for a long time. My father, Shahaji Raje, is a Sardar at the court of Bijapur. It is he who has given me the charge of this Jagir. Jagir is what? Pune. Everything is going on well and peacefully, but friends, I'm not happy. Must we always remain satisfied as bondmen of the Sultan? Bondmen means servants. Must we always eat out of other people's hands? That is, must we always be like slaves to other people? Will the Sultan always give us and then will we eat? Or can we do something on our own? Should we have some kind of mental and physical freedom also on our own? So these are the questions which Shivaji Maharaj asked of his friends that particular day. He continued further and he said, "We are surrounded on all sides by foreign kingdoms which are constantly at war." That is, we learnt about the Nizam Shah and the Adil Shah, isn't it? Our people get killed for nothing during these wars, and family after family gets uprooted. Our country suffers destruction. Destruction means totally everything gets washed out, wiped out, the houses of people are gone, the cattle is killed, and the cities and villages, they become like jungles. Okay, so our country suffers destruction. And what do we get out of all this? Nothing but slavery. How long shall we continue to tolerate this? How long shall we lay down our lives for others? Okay, so now when our soldiers, when they fight in the army, in the navy, in the air force, what are they doing? They are protecting our motherland, India. But in those times, these people used to fight for the Nizam Shah. They used to fight for the Adil Shah, and they used to lose their lives. Okay, so Shivaji Maharaj asked of his friends, how long shall we lay down our lives for others? Shall we allow this to continue just for the sake of a small watan? Now what is watan? Watan is a small kind of money or a small piece of land that is given. What have you to say about all this? So in a way, Shivaji brought some kind of awakening. He wanted to bring about awakening in the minds of his friends. So he said, what do you people, what do you my friends have to say about all this? Now as Shivaji was speaking, he was speaking with great emotion, and his face was red with anger. He had got very, very emotional, and he was very angry that he is having to live this kind of a life, and his people also are having to live this kind of a life. In the middle of his speech, he stopped and looked at his companions. The young Mavlas gathered there in the inner sanctum of Raireshwar were greatly thrilled by Shivaji's speech. Okay? They had seen a new vision. They felt that yes, this is a person who will lead us to our freedom. This is a person who will keep us free in the real sense of the word. That is, freedom doesn't mean working under someone and not being able to do something of your own. Freedom means real freedom. They had seen a new vision. And one of them said, what did he say? Our young prince, tell us clearly whatever is in your mind. We are prepared. We are anxious to do your bidding. He said, so whatever you say, young prince, we are ready to listen to you. And we are anxious also. That is, we want to do things for you. Yes, Raje, they all said with one voice. We are with you. We shall do whatever you say at the cost of our lives if need be. So till now they were laying down their lives for the sultans, and so now they were more than happy to lay down their lives for Shivaji Maharaj. And they said, yes, we are with you. We will do whatever you want us to do. And even if we die for that, we will not be sad. And that is when Shivaji got a lot of inspiration from their words. Okay, he got fresh inspiration. He said, yes, so I want to do something and my people are with me. So he said that, and that is how they took the oath in the temple. So what did he say? Friends, our path is clear. We shall all strive to attain our ideal, and we will work for it till it is achieved. All should be ready even to sacrifice their lives for this ideal, which is Hindvi Swaraj. And then he said, let us take this oath with Lord Raireshwar as witness. We give ourselves completely to the task of establishing our own Raj. And our own Raj is what? Swaraj. The temple echoed the voice of Shivaji. That is, in the whole temple, the voice of Shivaji Maharaj was booming around. God thinks that this kingdom should take shape as Hindvi Swaraj. We shall see that God's wish is fulfilled. So in a way he said that it was not his wish, but it was God's wish, and he was expressing God's wish in a way. So the whole temple started reverberating with the voice of Shivaji Maharaj. So this is how they took the oath. Okay, so children, remember, when you decide to do certain things in your life, you have to promise yourself, you have to take many oaths, but at the same time you also have to work hard in order to fulfill those promises, or in order to achieve those oaths. So now let us see whether Shivaji Maharaj actually worked towards the achievement of those oaths. So did he prepare himself? But before that, let us see what he did next. So the Mavlas left the temple, committed to the oath of freedom of Swaraj. And now you all know that Shivaji Maharaj was very, very extremely attached to his mother. So what did he do? His mind was filled with great joy. As soon as he reached Pune, he went straight to the Lal Mahal to see his mother. We saw that Shahaji Raje had built a very beautiful structure called as a Lal Mahal for Shivaji Maharaj and his mother to stay. So Jijabai was staying there. So as soon as he reached Pune, Shivaji Maharaj went straight to see his mother. He described to her all that took place at Raireshwar. And we saw that what was Shivaji Maharaj's mother's ideal. Her ideal was that Shivaji would do something on his own. She wanted Shivaji to move out of the shadows of the sultans. Okay, so that was her dream also. So she was overjoyed. Overjoyed, Jijabai thought with satisfaction that Shivaji would accomplish what was always in her mind. So now she became sure that her son Shivaji is working towards fulfillment of her dream, the dream with which she had brought him up all these years. Okay, then we will move on and see what preparations Shivaji Maharaj did. So Shivaji soon got busy with his new activities. Along with his comrades, he started intensive training in swordsmanship. He also learned how to ride, how to explore the secret paths in the hills, and he got familiar with the general topography of the land. Topography means where there are the hills, where there are valleys, where there are mountains, how to climb, etc. Its valleys and its ghats and possible communication routes. Now, Shivaji Maharaj and his Mavlas or his soldiers, they were very, you can say, experts in guerrilla warfare. That is, they would hide and then they would attack. So, all these things Shivaji started learning. He started studying. Okay, and while doing so, he won over the Mavlas, who became his most devoted followers. So, wherever Shivaji Maharaj would go, the Mavlas would follow. They were willing to lay down their lives for him anytime. Shivaji's enthusiasm, because if you have the support of your friends, then you become more interested. So Shivaji's enthusiasm increased 1,000-fold. Shivaji made a detailed survey of all the forts and military establishments in the area. So he went around and he inspected all the forts, he inspected all the places where there were boats, where there were ports, etc. In this, his followers were of great help to him. In course of time, the smallest detail of every establishment, secret pathways, underground routes, communication dumps, cellars, everything he studied in great detail. So he became an expert, okay? Now, there were some people who were still not friends with Shivaji. So all over the 12 marvels, there were Deshmukhs, okay, who were guarding their watans. Now I told you what watans are. When you work for the Sultan, they give you a small piece of land. So these Deshmukhs, they were very happy with their piece of land. They did not think about more. They did not dream about more. And they used to constantly fight also. They were very attached to these watans. And there were constant quarrels between them, leading to useless waste of money and manpower. They used to fight also. The Deshmukhs used to fight among themselves. Okay, so Shivaji saw this waste. He thought it's a waste of money. It is a waste of human life. Instead of fighting with each other, we should fight with the enemies and we should try to get Swaraj. So he decided to put an end to this. He decided that I'm going to do something and I will try and put an end to this. So what did he do for that? He started visiting the Deshmukhs in the area and he started talking to them. He started persuading them to desist from their folly and raise before them a very attractive picture of the Swaraj of his dreams. He started making them realize about their folly. Folly means mistake. And he started showing them the picture which he had in his mind about Swaraj. He thus won many of them over to his side. So there were many Deshmukhs who came over to Shivaji's side. He used force against those who were adamant. Now, he had used all methods. He used to talk lovingly, he used to explain things to them, and if they never used to listen to him, then he would get violent with them. Okay? In this way, he stopped the mutual warfare, the way people were fighting with each other, he stopped that. And everyone was pleased with his happy result and they started singing praises of Shivaji Maharaj. So there were many different Deshmukhs, Sardars who came and joined hands with Shivaji. So you can read their names here. There was Zunjar Rao Maral, Haibat Rao Shilamkar, Baji Pasalkar, Vithoji Chitole, Jedhe, Paigude, Bandal. These were some of the Deshmukhs in the Marvel Valley who began to look upon Shivaji as their leader. And now Shivaji could see his dream of Swaraj coming closer and closer and closer to him. Okay, so this was how Shivaji Maharaj started off in his efforts to establish his dream and the thing for which he had taken the oath in presence of Lord Shiva in the temple of Raireshwar. So now let us talk about another very important thing, that is we will talk about Shivaji's seal, royal seal. Okay, so the Jagir was already being administered in the name of Shivaji. So Shivaji was already administering, or he was already taking charge of the Jagir. Shahaji Raje, he had cast a special royal seal for Shivaji. So you can see this is called as the mudra, and there are some things which are written there in Sanskrit. Okay, now I am not able to read Sanskrit, I do not have the capacity to read Sanskrit. So what we will do is we will try and see what the meaning of that in English is. So this is the seal of Shivaji Maharaj, and the seal says, this seal will grow in splendor like the new moon. So you have the new moon, which on the first day you cannot see at all in the sky, and slowly the size of the new moon goes on increasing and increasing and increasing, and one day finally you have the full moon in the sky in full splendor or glory. So they say that this seal will grow in splendor like the new moon. This seal of Shivaji, the son of Shahaji, receiving homage from the whole world, denotes the welfare of the people. So it said that this seal is about the welfare of the people. It is not about anything else. It is only for the betterment of the lives of the people. This royal seal, in a way, foretold the foundation of Swaraj. So it was one kind of a prediction that very soon there will be Swaraj in the land of Shivaji Maharaj. And now you will see why the seal was special, children, because in those times most of the royal seals, they were carved in Persian language. Why? Because all the kings were Islamic rulers, they were all the sultans, so it was carved in their language. Now remember, their language was actually a foreign language. They had come from outside and they had settled in our country, and they had started imposing their language, their culture on our people. Okay, so most of the royal seals were carved in Persian. Now Shivaji's was carved in Sanskrit, and this was a very important and significant change. When you say Swaraj, when you say your own rule, for your own rule, children, first you have to have your own language. Okay, you have to have your own culture, you have to have your own traditions and customs. When everything that you do is foreign, then you cannot have your own rule. Okay, so that is why this was supposed to be a very big change, and there could not be Swaraj without our own language and own religion. So that is why they called it as the Hindutva Swaraj or Hindvi Raj. Okay, but at the same time, it did not mean that Shivaji Maharaj would not start troubling people of the other religion or something. Okay, he was a very tolerant king. He gave protection to the mosques. He never attacked women. He never attacked the homes of people or the religious places. So he had a very, you can say, a royal way of behaving. Okay, he never went down, stooped down and attacked women or attacked places of worship or broke down mosques. He was a very big hearted, a large hearted king, for whom all the people who lived in his religion, in his area, were all the same to him, irrespective of their religion. Okay, but then he did not have any hatred also for any other religion. Okay, he supported the religious beliefs of all religions, and he was well known for his kindness and oneness of all religions. So see, today's times it is very difficult to find people like Shivaji Maharaj, who had too much of respect and love for his own religion, but at the same time he loved and respected the religion of others also. In today's times, what do? We all talk about our own religion and we talk bad about other people's religions, which is very bad. Okay, so we should remember the teachings of this great king Shivaji Maharaj, because we are living in Maharashtra, isn't it? And we should try and understand that we should have love, respect for people of all religion. Only then our country will be a beautiful country to live in. So towards the end of this lesson, let us see that once the seal of Shivaji Maharaj was made public, it was a guarantee to all the Mavlas that Shivaji's government was for the welfare of his people. And they were very quick to understand that point. They understood very easily and very quickly that yes, this is our king, and he is the person who's going to take care of us and who's going to lead us on our path to freedom, that is the path of Swaraj. Okay, children, so now this is a journey of the you can say greatness of Shivaji Maharaj. Till now he was a child under the protection of his mother and his father, slowly he is coming out of their shadow, and now we will see how he went on. And in the next lesson we will talk about his first conquest, that is, he had to get back the areas or the territories that were under the other kings. Now that time we know that Maharashtra was governed by the Mughal emperor at Delhi, Adil Shah, and Nizam Shah. There were also the Portuguese in Goa and the Siddhis of Janjira. Okay, they were all very powerful people. Now Shivaji Maharaj had to somehow, he had to become stronger than them. That is why he started conquering places which belonged to them. So when we come to lesson number 7, children, we will talk about Swaraj and its first conquest. Okay, but for now I want you to watch this video completely. Watch the entire video, because at the end of the video I'm going to explain to you about what tasks you have to do after you finish watching the video. Okay, so come on children, let me tell you what those tasks are going to be.
So children, now you have watched the video. So after you watch the video now, you will have to complete a few simple tasks. Now you might have watched the video on your computers or your laptops or your mobile phones. Now after you watch the video, what will you do? You will please go to the description box which is given below the video. So what is the description box? See, the description box looks like this. Alright, and after you go to the description box, you will see that there are a few questions there. Now what are these questions about? These questions are about the lesson that we just learned or the video that you just watched. So what will you do? You will think back properly about the lesson and you will try and answer these questions. And note down the answers in your notebook if you want. Okay? After that, we have another task waiting. You will also click on the link which you will find in the description box to fill up the Google form. So now what is the Google form, children? It is nothing but a simple form. There are a few simple questions there about the video which you just saw and also about yourself. So these are the tasks now that you will have to complete after you watch each video. So children, wasn't that a very interesting lesson? I'm sure you learned a lot of new things in this lesson. If you have liked this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my video so that you will get to see all the videos which I keep posting regularly.